What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. Sorry for the late start, guys. We are going to be diving into all the start sits here, every position. This is going to be the quarterbacks, every single matchup. This is the video you want to pay attention to, breaking down all the statistics, all the yards allowed, all the points given, all the matchups. This is going to be the informational knowledge bomb on quarterbacks, on who to start and who to sit to help you win your Week 4 matchups. Before we dive into it, guys, as always, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. Helps me out a ton. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. Again, if you guys have any questions, doesn't have to pertain to this video. I try to answer every single one of them. I will be live only Thursday this week before the kickoff, 7 p.m. Eastern as well. Mom's birthday, 60th birthday in Vegas. We'll be gone Friday to Monday. So I'm going to try and crank everything out for you guys before Thursday. I will do, my rankings as well. And then we're going to look at some Week 4 buy lows, sell highs. I'll do that at every Week 4 spot. So it's kind of, you don't see the same buy lows every single week. And then if you guys haven't checked out the Discord, the Guys FF, I run it with my partner, Big Draft Energy. He'll be live as well this Thursday with me on the show. We cover everything fantasy football you guys need. Dynasty trades, redraft, trades you need to make, roster setups, pick'em, DFS, all that. We do that on drafters.com. If you haven't signed up on drafters.com, you want to do pick'ems with us, you want to do DFS drafts with us, you want to do everything with us on Drafters, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And grab something to drink, man. Let's dive in to the start sit-em Week 4 quarterbacks, baby. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my start-em sit-em board. Green, obviously start, yellow, flex or not. I'll break down if I like that as a super flex player or not, because we are in quarterbacks. Red will be sit-em, and the away team will be at the top. The home team will be at the bottom, with the versus heading down to the bottom, guys. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, the 2-1 Seahawks, big division NFC West game headed into the 2-1 Arizona Cardinals. Over under 43.5, not that high of an implied point total game there. Seattle's favored by 1.5. And for this game, this is going to be a double sit for me on both sides here. I don't think it's going to be that much of a passing game here. For Sam Darnold, you're going up against the Arizona Cardinals, who currently rank 16th versus the quarterback, giving up 15.35 points. Yes, Jay Season has been out of his mind, but I feel like you're going to get more of a Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker with Charbonnet back here because Arizona's struggling more versus the run. And on the Kyler Murray side, man, you saw Marvin Harrison drop the ball. You saw Marvin Harrison not get involved. I cannot believe what is going on again here in year 2 with Marvin and Kyler Murray. It is absolutely mind-blowing. And this is a very tough matchup. You're going up against the Seattle Seahawks. They are ranked 6th versus the quarterback, only allowing 13 points per game. They've given up 710 yards in 3 games, so not bad there. They give up, let me see what I blanked on it. They've given up 74 completions as well and 4 TDs to go with it. But they also have 6 interceptions as well. So it's going to be one of those games where I feel like Kyler has a very, very strugglesome game here. And I don't like really anybody but the running backs that start in this game, but we'll get to that in my running back wide receivers. Obviously, you're starting Jay Season, but I'm not starting either one of these quarterbacks this week. I've lost the faith in Kyler Murray. The 2-1 Carson Wentz Minnesota Vikings are headed into the 2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Aaron Rodgers, the old man vet quarterback game here. So the over-under, guys, 40.5, one of the lowest of the week. They don't expect a lot of points here. Neither do I in this game, especially through the air. Now, on the Carson Wentz side, I do like Carson Wentz as a possible super flex play. He is in my sleeper quarterback video as well, because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has just been hemorrhaging points in the passing game, which is just not what I thought when the season was going to start with the names they had at cornerback. So, and you also get the addition of Jordan Addison back this week off his 3-game DUI, suspension that he had. He's going to be kind of eased in there as well. You still got Justin Jefferson. You saw TJ Hawkinson come alive with Carson Wentz at quarterback last week. And you got the big boy Jordan Mason, my league winner, who absolutely smashed. Now you got to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They give up 21.5 points to the quarterback per game through 3 games, 781 passing yards, 5 passing TDs. That's over a touchdown a game average. This is what you want for Carson Wentz here. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy's still out, so you got to wait on him here to see how it goes out. But if Carson Wentz keeps winning, who knows what happens with J.J. McCarthy, right? On to the Aaron Rodgers side. Don't like this matchup at all. The Minnesota Vikings front, they get after the quarterback. Pittsburgh Steelers line has not been that great. It's going to be more of a grimy type game here, and they've been lights out versus the quarterback. The Minnesota Vikings are number 3. They allow 11.8 points to the quarterback position per game. And guys, they've only given up 485 passing yards in 3 games. That's like 127 average. That is freaking ridiculous. That is how good this defense is. And they've only allowed 2 touchdown passes. I don't like Aaron Rodgers in this game. Another one of those no bueno games for me. The Washington Commanders 2-1 headed into the 1-2 Falcons, 44.5 over under. So about a medium, high point total spread there. I wouldn't say high, I'd say medium point total spread. Washington is favored by 2.5 in this game. Now, you do have to pay attention to the injury updates here. We don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to be out there. It says day-to-day, which in my mind makes you think he's going to play, but it was day-to-day last week, and you saw Marcus Mariota. So if Jaden Daniels is out there, obviously you're starting this guy, right? You paid the draft capital of top 2 to 3 rounds for him. But if Marcus Mariota is out there, I'm sitting Marcus Mariota. I don't have a thing for him. I'll make one next week. I don't think he's going to be starting this week anyways. So we got to look at the Atlanta defense, though. The Atlanta defense is very, very good versus the quarterback, guys. They rank number 4. They give up 12.3 points. They've only given up 446 pass yards. A.J. Terrell might be back out there. We don't know if Terry McLaurin's going to be playing either for the Commanders, which could hurt him. But JD5's rushing upside and his electric playmaking ability. I'm not sitting this guy if I own JD5, regardless of the matchup. Let's be honest. Now, heading out of the Falcons side. Man, is it time to panic on Michael Penix because you just got rolled out the building 30-0 at the Carolina Panthers, who is a super plus matchup. Unbelievable. I mean, Drake London not a factor. Kyle Pitts not a factor. Darnell Mooney not a factor. Bijan was supposed to be a smash RB1, greatest matchup. He did nothing. And now you're going up against the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders have been decent versus the quarterback. They're, I'd say more than, I guess, below decent. They rank 26th, giving up 19.35 points, 740 points, and 5 passing TDs. I mean, the Falcons got to get right here, but I'm not trusting Michael Penix after last game. They even brought in Kirk Cousins. So, I mean, what if Penix loses this game here, and at 1-3, we're seeing Kirk go chains roll into week 5 for the Atlanta Falcons? Don't be shocked if that happens here, if they get blown out of this game, because he's looked very, very bad. Heading on down to Buffalo, the 3-0 Buffalo Bills are hosting the 0-3 Saints. Now, this is a game where I'm kind of nervous for Josh Allen, but we got to talk about it here. We'll talk about the Saints first. I'm not starting Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck at Buffalo any way, shape, or form. It went exactly like I thought it was going to at Seattle. I said Seattle's going to run them out of the building by 20-plus points. That game was over before it started. But that is why you like the Saints player for garbage time volume. That is why Juwan Johnson sees so many targets. That is why Chris Olave sees so many targets. That is why I told you to target these guys. I would like to see Alvin Kamara get some more targets. But in a Kellen Moore system, he doesn't get a lot of catches, which drives me nuts. But I'm not starting either one of these guys, even though the high implied point total 47.5 in this game. Buffalo's favored by 15.5. That is the most the Saints have ever been, I believe. I don't know the stats on it going all the way back, but I think that's the biggest spread of all time. I mean, 15.5 points is lights out. They are going to get cooked by James Cook as well. Now, onto the Josh Allen side here. So this is one of those games where I'm like, yeah, he's obviously your must-start quarterback, right? Do we think the Saints are going to hang around this game? Do we think we're going to see James Cook go for 20-plus? Of course I do with James Cook. Probably Ray Davis. Maybe not a lot of passing attempts. Could be a bad game script here for Josh Allen. I know you still got, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, Dalton Kincaid. They're all looking great. How much are they really going to need them against the Saints? That's like the scary part for me here with Josh Allen. Obviously, I'm still starting him if I own him, but I'm just tempering my expectations a little bit just based on a bad game script here. Down to Ford Football Field we go for the 2-1 Detroit Lions, who just waxed the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football last night. And here's my formal apology to all the Lions fans out there. I was lower on the Lions. I did not think the Lions would hang in this game at all. I thought on the road they would not be good, and now they're back at home. But still, we got to talk about this game here. So 46.5 is the over-under in this game. Detroit's favored by 8.5. And, dude, Green Bay was just favored by 9.5, and they lost at Cleveland. So I'm not starting Joe Flacco versus Detroit. Not a shot in hell. He's probably on his last leg. You're probably going to see. I hope they look for Shadur Sanders here to come in at some point this season, or mix it up or something. Because this defense is so good, but the offense doesn't move the ball, and Quinshon Judkins looked absolutely great. But you're going up against the Detroit Lions, and the matchup is kind of not bad. They give up 20.57 points per game. They're giving up 710 passing yards, so around like 230 a game there, so not bad. They also given up 7 passing TDs, So, a lot there, but you also saw, Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews get a garbage time one last time at the buzzer there. So that, it hurts their numbers. That was like an 80-yard drive too, which also hurt their numbers. So I'm not starting Joe Flacco at Detroit either way. I don't think you are either. Now, Jared Goff, and we learned this last week, man. I was super high on Jordan Love. I was like, no one runs on Cleveland. They're going to have to pass. They still didn't run on Cleveland. They still didn't pass on Cleveland. This defense is for real. They get after you so fast on the offensive line. Myles Garrett is blowing through 3 people every single time, just wreaking havoc. And I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring Detroit Lions game like it was, Monday Night Football at Baltimore there. But you got to look at what Cleveland does versus the quarterback. They gave up 15, so middle of the pack there, right at 15, ranking 15th. 521 pass yards. Not a lot, guys. So, and their rushing yards, dude, is at like 100. Like, this defense is nasty. They've earned the right to be like, you sit people versus Cleveland now. They've allowed 5 passing TDs, and I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game here for Goff. If it's like a super flex play, maybe I move him into a super flex, but I do not like him in a redraft start this week. The 1-2 Panthers coming off that big win, 30-0 blowout versus the Atlanta Falcons. Absolutely nuts there. Are headed into Foxborough to take on Drake May and the Patriots. Now, this is one of those games where I'm like, God, it's just, I don't know if it's going to be ugly or it's going to be high scoring. It's just grimy. I don't know if I like this game at all, but I'm going to say Drake May is a start for the rushing upside and Bryce Young is a sit. And we're going to talk about the Panthers here first. So, and if Chris Gonzalez is out there, he's missed the first 3 weeks. Their superstar corner, which they didn't put on IR, so it seems like he should be back week 4. That will hamper Ted McMillan more, but again, you got to pay attention to the updates there because he is a legit top 3 to 5 corner in the NFL. Now, when you're looking at the Carolina or the New England Patriots defense here, they do rank 18th, giving up, 15.91, not a lot there. So super flex start possibility for Bryce Young, not redraft start for me. And the Patriots have given up 815 yards and 5 TDs to go with it. So, around 230 yards a game. And Bryce Young, and I've said this, I've tweeted this, I've talked about this in videos. Dave Canales gets this offense rolling. You saw it in the second half of the season last year. They are a streaky team that can catch fire. So, it's a 1-game sample size right now versus the Falcons. I know that. Falcons were down their star corner, A.J. Terrell, as well. I know that. He could be back this week for the Falcons. We talked about that already. But I just don't like Bryce Young as a redraft start here yet. I need to see more consistency. I'm not a 1-game pop comeback kind of guy. I like to see 2 or 3, and I use my example as like Quentin Johnston. Like, I was like, man, I don't know if I trust Quentin Johnston for 1 more. Now he's done it 3 times. Now I'm starting Quentin Johnston, right? And on the Drake May side, this is a weird look here, guys. The Carolina Panthers are number 1 in the NFL versus the quarterback. They are allowing 9.82 points per game because they get hemorrhaged by the run so bad. But obviously last week, Bijan and Algier couldn't get it going. So it's kind of a 3-game sample size. I'm not looking at their quarterback play like Drake May can't be a start. He brings a rushing upside, and he's been passing for a ton of yards this year. So I like Drake May as a start in this game. I do not like Bryce Young as a start in this game. The game I've been waiting to talk about. I can't wait for the shows for this game as well. It is going to be the 3-0 Super Bowl contending Chargers. I mean, this team looks immaculate. They look good across the board, and they're about to get Khalil Mack back as well. Oops, put the wrong graphic up there. Going up against the Giants, and Russell Wilson has finally got the bench. Jesus, this should have been a long time ago, but I honestly think they should have waited till next week with Jackson Dart where they get the Saints instead of throwing him to the Wolves against the Chargers defense. So Justin Herbert is going to come into this game. And guys, we don't know, is Ladd McConkey like the wide receiver 3 for the Los Angeles Chargers? Absolutely bonkers. Quentin Johnston balling, Keenan Allen balling, Ladd McConkey playing average. You saw Rondé Gadsden come in at tight end and see 7 targets last week as well, which is absolutely nuts. They are slinging the shit out of the rock. You get the New York Giants defense. This is going to be a 20-point game for Herbert. They give up 18.47 per game, which ranks 22nd versus the quarterback. They've given up 818 yards, which is around 260 a game right there passing, so you know they get smashed. 4 touchdown passes. Justin Herbert is going to absolutely light this defense up because they get after you up front versus the run. They cannot stop the pass, and then they're on the field so long because their offense hasn't been moving the ball. Their defense just gets tired, and they get gashed and gashed and gashed more. So I love Herbert in this game. The over-under is 44.5. Chargers favored by 6.5. I like the Chargers to cover that big time in Jackson Dart's first start. Now, on the Jackson Dart side, this is the guy I've been waiting for, hyping him up all year long. Not the start I want for him. I don't want to throw him out there versus the Los Angeles Chargers defense, which is number 11 versus the quarterback allowing 14 points a game. This is going to be a very tough matchup. Yeah, they're at home. Will the crowd get behind him, energize him up for sure? I hope you get to see Malik Neighbors in this game because you didn't even see Malik Neighbors or Wan'Dale Robinson until the very last play of the game last week, which was Russell Wilson just throwing darts into the tunnel. I mean, it was terrible. Chargers have given up around 200 pass yards a game, so not a lot there. That's very, very good. And they've only given up 2 passing TDs through 3 games. So, yeah, I am excited for Dart, as we all are in the fantasy football world. This guy rushed for 500 yards in the SEC at Ole Miss. He does bring the rushing upside to go with the passing. But, damn, you're throwing him into the Wolves here. I wish it was next week versus the Saints where I'll have him as a start. I cannot wait for him to go up in a good matchup. I think this is going to be a terrible, terrible matchup for Dart. But watch him come out and ball versus the Chargers, and it's game on, baby. Oh, my Lanta Eagles fans. The Eagles got the win last week over the Rams once they were down 20 points. And I've been down on the Eagles offense all day. And, of course, they open it up once the Rams defense starts playing soft. And now you get the Bucs in a 3-0-3-0 battle. And the over-under is only 43.5 in this game. Philly's favored by 3.5 on the road here. I like the start for both these quarterbacks. Let's talk about why here. So, obviously, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown connection kicked in, a 28-6 or 26-6 versus the Rams. They started to wake up because nickel prevent defense was opening it up for the Eagles, and all of a sudden, here comes all the passing that was never there. But you're getting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, and you always have the tush push. Even if it's a false start tush push, every single time, they're going to get the touchdown. The NFL does not want to call it. I can't wait for them to ban this stupid-ass play. But we got to look at it. It's still in the game, so we got to talk about it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers give up 18.6 points to the quarterback per game, ranking 23rd, 702 yards, 4 passing TDs. This is going to be another game where Jalen Hurts is a start because you also, like I just said, you get the tush-push ability. He'll probably pass for 170, 180 in this game, depending on the game script here, because you do have Mike Evans down on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers side. We don't know if Chris Godwin's going to be back either, so it might just be a Mecca Egbuka out there by himself. But when I'm looking at Baker Mayfield with all that, I'm never sitting Baker Mayfield. This guy is just a warrior of all warriors that we all like to root for. I know you get the Philly defense. They rank 13th versus the quarterback, giving up 14.5 points, 571 pass yards, and 3 passing TDs they've allowed. Still, I'm starting Baker Mayfield every single time. This guy can be down 20, and he will just rally, and he will turn it up. Absolute warrior of all warriors. I love Baker Mayfield every single week, probably as a start from here on out. The 0-3 battle, the Tennessee Titans are headed into the Houston Texans. God damn, the Texans need a win bad. Over-under is only 39.5 in this game, the lowest point total game of the week. Still, Houston is favored by 6.5, which is crazy. And when you're looking at the Cam Ward side here, right? So think about this as we're going to this game, and it's been brutal for the Titans all the way around. I mean, they've had a tough schedule all the way through. I'm still benching Cam Ward here in this game. But we do have some news that's popped up here for the Titans. So head coach Brian Callahan finally relinquishes the play call duties to the QB coach Bo Hardigree. I hope I didn't say his name wrong. They need to. This offense looks terrible. It's like they don't even know that Calvin Ridley's on their team. Yeah, he's getting the targets, but the targets are terrible from Cam Ward. You get the Houston Texans defense here. The Houston Texans defense is number 10 versus the quarterback, giving up 13.7 points per game, 682 passing yards allowed in 3 TDs through 3 games. So around 210. Could Cam Ward, have a good game? The strength of the Texans defense is usually versus the run, but they've been in so many grimy games. They're coming up versus the quarterback as well here, and that's what their defense does. And if Stingley's out, their star corner, that will help Calvin Ridley get open. So make sure you're paying attention to those updates as we get closer to game time here. But still, I'm not starting Cam Ward after 3 bad games. Let's be real. C.J. Stroud, I thought he was in for his second-year breakout with all of the weapons around him. I mean, Nico Collins, Christian Kirk is not back. You saw Christian Kirk get 8 targets last week, which I told you guys he was going to be what they talked about at camp was he's the security blanket they're going to use. And he saw heavy volume. They didn't connect on him, which is what you want to see for your first time, first game of the season. Getting 8 targets is phenomenal. Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins, the rookies haven't done much. Dalton Schultz, not much. And you get the Tennessee Titans. This is one of those ugly games, I fear. This is why the over-under is so low, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns in this game. And the Titans rank 7th versus the quarterback, giving up 13.3. 702 passing yards and 4 passing TDs. So, yeah, they've given up the touchdowns. They've given up the yards, but they're just a stingy defense. If you want a super flex CJ Stroud, I'm okay with it. I really like it. Don't like it as a redraft start. I put it lower flex for redraft. And Cam Ward, I'm not touching in this game. The 3-0 Indiana Jones-led Colts are heading into the LA Rams this week. And it is going to be a 49.5 over-under, which is a very high implied point total game that I don't think is going to hit this week. Rams are still favored by 3.5 because no one believes in the Colts still. I'm still kind of on the fence, but yeah, they're 3-0. So when you're looking at Danny Dimes here, I have Danny Dimes as a sit. So when you're looking at the Rams defense here, right? So they do rank right now 17th. They dropped heavily since last week against the Eagles. So we're going to talk about it. They rank 17th, giving up 15.6 points per game, 589 pass yards allowed. A lot of that came in garbage time versus the Eagles, by the way. 4 touchdowns. They also gave up 2 touchdowns in garbage time against the Eagles as well. And Jalen Hurts' numbers were bolstered once they were up 20 and the Rams defense went soft. Do you think the Rams defense is going to let that happen again in a Sean McVay coach team? You are out of your goddamn mind. I am not starting Danny Dimes at LA coming off a loss where they should have beat the Eagles, and it was a very, very big playoff implication game, and they just threw that game away. Now, when it comes to Matt Stafford here, I am not starting Matt Stafford with confidence in redraft. I am higher on the flex with him than on the lower side, but you're going up against the Colts, and strangely enough, the Colts are number 5 versus the quarterback, only giving up 13 points, 571 pass yards. So, around 140, 150 there per game. Or no, sorry, that's wrong. Like 160, 170 per game. 5 passing TDs they've given up. But when you have Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, the wide receiver 1 who looks out of his mind, learning from Devontae Adams has just been a straight gold mine for him. I mean, I've been saying it for I don't know how many years on stream or through shows that Devontae Adams is the best route runner I've ever seen play football in my life. And it's just crazy to see how good he's made Puka Nacua. So, yeah, I like Stafford as a, high-end flex play, maybe a low redraft start. Do not like Danny Dimes this week versus the Rams. The 2-1 Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off their ugly, ugly win, are headed in to face my 3-0 San Francisco 49ers, who just keep getting goddamn hurt. And now we lost Nick Bosa in this game for the season as well, which is absolutely brutal. And the matchups are going to be great here. The over-under is 46.5. Niners are favored by 3.5. But Trevor Lawrence, guys, and this is something I didn't know. I mean, I need to do better research coming into next year. The quarterback coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars is Shane Waldron. The quarterback passing game coordinator, whatever his title is, one of those. That's terrible for BTJ and Travis Hunter. I forget who threw out the tweet. Shout out to him. I posted it on Twitter. Dude, you saw Jay Season's rookie season with Shane Waldron ruined. You saw Rome Odunze season with Shane Waldron ruined. Both those guys are thriving right now outside of Shane Waldron's system or whatever scheme. Shane Waldron's terrible. So BTJ, Travis Hunter, I'm starting to worry about him here. And I got to apologize. I need to pay attention to the research, and I need to write like on a chalkboard. I will not draft a player tied to Shane Waldron. I will not draft a player tied to Shane Waldron. I need to just write that on my computer and do research headed to next year on there, because I didn't know that he was the passing game coordinator there, and it is killing the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Trevor Lawrence, the matchup is great. And remember, you got to remember, you also have Nick Bosa out for the year. That's less pressure on the edge. That's top 3 DN in the NFL. The 49ers are a good defense versus the quarterback, though. They rank 9th, giving up 13.75 points, 515 pass yards. Not a lot there. 4 passing TDs as well. But the secondary is weak. The front is usually the strength. And now Nick Bosa's out. This has got to be a decent flex play. Trevor Lawrence, redraft play if you want. I just got to see this Jacksonville Jaguars offense click, man. It's getting to that point where it's like, are we just done with T-Law, BTJ, and this offense and Travis Hunter and all of them? Because it looks terrible, but yet they're 2-1. On to the 49ers side, Brock Purdy looks like he is going to be out there. Mac Jones guts it out at the safety last week with an ankle injury and takes us down for the win. And Eddie Pinheiro kicks it through. And you get the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a matchup that you want. The Jacksonville Jaguars versus the quarterback are ranking 12th, giving up 14.3 points. But you got to remember, last week was a freaking 14-7 game, which was very ugly. So it's only a 3-game sample size right now, so it really boosts their defense that is not that good. Now we're hoping we get Juan Jennings back out there. Ricky Pearsall looks like an absolute stud. We're weeks away from Kittle. CMC is still balling. And Brock Purdy is always a top 10 quarterback in the Shanahan system with all the weapons around him when he's out there. I love Purdy as a start in this game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars on his first game back. Can you guys believe we are here? The 1-2 Chiefs are hosting the 1-2 Baltimore Ravens. The winner of this game, the loser, will be 1-3, guys. That's the Ravens and the Chiefs. Can you believe we are here? So this game right now is currently 48.5. Ravens are favored by 2.5 on the road here, coming off that bad loss to Detroit that just smacked him in the mouth. And when you're looking at the Ravens, so you get the Chiefs here. The Chiefs rank 14th versus the quarterback, giving up 14.95. You're not ever sitting Lamar Jackson, let's be real, regardless of the matchup. 579 pass yards allowed, 3 passing TDs. You've got a little breakout from Rashad Bateman last week. You got DeAndre Hopkins getting some looks. Mark Andrew finds a little life. You know King Henry, I thought King Henry would have a bigger game than he did last night. He kind of fumbled it away, and they had a little argument, man, because the Ravens shouldn't be losing 2 games already. What if they lose 3? Could the wheels really fall off? Are the Ravens for real? I'm like, damn, I had them as like Super Bowl contender here. So the Ravens need to win this game. Now, when you look at the Chiefs need to win this too. So, I mean, both teams as well when I say that. But Patrick Mahomes here. Are we going to get Xavier Worthy back? We hope so. And you just saw the Lions. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to have that strength that the Lions do, right? The Lions just pounded them for 250 yards on the ground with Montgomery and Gibbs. We know the Chiefs' run game is not their strength. We've seen Pacheco, we've seen Kareem Hunt, and we've seen Brashard Smith sprinkle in here and there. And none of it is really that great, guys. So when you're looking at the Baltimore Ravens defense versus the quarterback, though, they gave up 21.65. And Jared Goff did not have a monster game last week passing yards. He threw a couple touchdowns, but nothing great. And they give up 710 passing yards. So around 230 a game. You know Mahomes is going to be slinging it here at Arrowhead. You know you're going to get a Xavier Worthy bomb. Tyquan Thornton's been playing that role. He's been looking good. He almost had 2 touchdowns last week. And the Chiefs are kind of that team that once they get rolling, man, they're going to get rolling. And when they get Rashee Rice back, this is going to be wheels up offense for the Chiefs. But I'm starting both these quarterbacks in this game. I cannot wait to watch this game. And honestly, I'm rooting for the Chiefs, and I'm a Niner fan. I hate saying that. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are headed in to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. 47.5 over under. Chicago favored on the road by 1.5. And you just saw Caleb Williams light up the Dallas Cowboys. But of course, everyone lights up the Dallas Cowboys. That's what happens with their defense. That's what happens when you get rid of Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones, wake up, man. So here's the thing, and here's what you have to look at. You saw Luther Burden get involved here too, who's been my talk of the freaking town. He finally got 20% snaps. You saw him be a gadget player. You saw him hit a home run. You've got DJ Moore. You've got Roma Dunze. We don't know if Colson Loveland's going to be out there. Cole Kmet could be a nice play if Loveland is down. And Ben Johnson, once he gets this offense rolling and they start clicking, like the first 2 games, you felt a little jitter, but he was still a top 3 quarterback. Like Caleb Williams is quarterback 3, guys, through 3 games. And he's in a position here to be quarterback 1 after this week, going up against the Las Vegas Raiders, who rank 21st versus the quarterback. They give up 18.28, 736 pass yards through 3 games and 4 TDs. And we know that the Raiders cannot run the ball for shit. You've seen Ashton Genty and how bad it's been. This is going to be another. He's on my smash start again. Caleb Williams is going to go nuclear for 20-plus points again with ease. And you're about to see the Chicago Bears offense be absolutely insane. And I'm calling it right now that Caleb Williams is going to be a top 10 quarterback for the rest of the season. On to the Raiders side. You got garbage time Geno Smith points. If you started him, it was very nice. You got Trey Tucker, home run. Trey Tucker in the end zone. Trey Tucker, 40-point game. Absolutely crazy from Trey Tucker. I mean, if you started him in best ball or DFS, whatever your lineup was, you probably took home the gold because that was a crazy, crazy game from him. And the matchup isn't bad here. The Chicago Bears are very bad versus the quarterback. They give up 22.62 points, 759 yards, 3 passing TDs. And again, the Raiders can't run the ball. So, I mean, I would have said that Jacoby Myers is their wide receiver 1, but Trey Tucker's still getting 20% target share. You know, you got Jacoby Myers. I'd like to see Jack Beck get involved a little bit here at TCU. He hasn't really done much yet, and they got to figure out how to run the ball, man. But still, It's more of a lower end flex play. But again, if it's another game where you get garbage time and he gets to eat it up, he could be another, smart play here as a low end super flex quarterback, because they're not going to be running the ball anytime soon, in my opinion, in Pete Carroll's system right now. Sunday Night Football, the game we are going to be glued to. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers head into Jerry's World for Micah Parsons' revenge game at Dallas. And goddamn, Dak, you better be running for your life in this game. So the over-under, 47.5, I like that to go over, guys. I really do, even with the Packers defense. So Green Bay's favored by 6.5 on the road here. The Dallas Cowboys defense, this is the defense you want to target. You just saw them get lit up by Russell Wilson. You just saw them get lit up last week. You saw them get lit up in week 1. I mean, this is just, the wheels are coming off too with CeeDee Lamb being out for 2 to 3 weeks here. The updates keeps changing for him. So when I'm looking at Jordan Love here, you get 27.8 points per game allowed by the Dallas Cowboys, dead last in the NFL. 900 passing yards through 3 games. 300 passing yards a game, 7 TDs last in the NFL allowed on defense as well. And they're like, Cowboys fans will still tell you that Micah Parsons didn't matter. This defense is so terrible. Jordan Love is going to splash in this game. Matthew Golden I have as a smash start sleeper play. Romeo Dobbs is going to eat. Tucker Kraft is going to eat. Josh Jacobs is going to eat. That's what you do against the Dallas Cowboys, is just feast like it's Thanksgiving dinner. Now, when it comes to Dak Prescott, you got no CeeDee Lamb. And if you've watched George Pickens over his career, George Pickens, I feel like it's going to hurt him that CeeDee Lamb is injured. And most people are going to be happy and think it's going to boost him. George Pickens is a jump ball go-getter guy, but he's not a space creator. He's not a zone beater like CeeDee Lamb, get over the top. He's more of a throw it up to me, I'll go get it guy. I think it's going to hurt him with the coverage drawing to him. And, maybe Jake Ferguson, who I've liked all year long, Dak's, security blanket tight end. He's going to be a smash play in this game because that's Green Bay's weakness, is a tight end. And the volume, he's just through the roof. But you're going up against the Packers here. Packers are number 2 versus the quarterback. 11.4 points per game. 567 pass yards. 3 TDs passing. Not good. Not good. I'm not starting Dak in this game. Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 quarterback play for me this week. Monday Night Football, the 2-part doubleheader. The New York Jets at 0-3 are headed into the Miami Dolphins at 0-3. And this is like fighting for your job game here for Mike McDaniels. Possibly Tyreek on the move for the Dolphins. We hope Justin Fields is back out there. If it's Tyrod Taylor, again, I don't think he's going to be out there with the concussion. But if it's Tyrod Taylor, I'm not starting him, even though he was kind of a decent super flex play last week. Both these defenses really struggled. This is a game where a lot of players should thrive here. I mean, this is a great matchup both ways. So when you're looking at Justin Fields going against the Dolphins, they're second worst versus the quarterback behind the Miami Dolphins, behind the Dallas Cowboys, giving up 26.27 points, 715 pass yards, and 6 TDs. That's also second worst in the NFL. So it's a smash start here, especially with this rushing upside for Justin Fields if he's out there. And when you're looking at the Miami side, Tua's got a great matchup too. The Jets versus the quarterback, they rank 24th. They give up 18.73. They give up 657 passing, and they've given up 5 TDs as well, which is tied for third worst. You've got to get it going here, Miami. I'm rooting for Miami to win this game very, very bad. I don't want to see the wheels fall off in the shamble and all the bad talk that's happening for Miami. You've got Waddle, you've got A-Chain, you've got Tyreek. You will see Darren Waller in this game as well. Will that help them across the middle? The piece they're missing with Jonnu Smith, maybe. And this has got to be a both smash start quarterback on Monday night. I'm hoping it's not one of those AFC division grunge ugly games here. I'm hoping we get fireworks in this game. And I like both these quarterbacks as a start. The over-under is 45.5. I like it to go over. Man, oh man, the last part of the doubleheader, the Denver Broncos are not the team that I thought they were going to be through 3 weeks. But Bo Nix did get off to a slow start last year as well, so maybe that's just what's happening here in the Sean Payton system. But they're hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, and you just saw the Bengals get ran out the building by the Minnesota Vikings before the game had started. And Jake Browning is probably on his last leg here. And I do not like Jake Browning versus the Denver Broncos defense, although the Denver Broncos defense has not been the Denver Broncos defense that I thought they were going to be. After I saw Danny Dimes shred him, it made me nervous. But Jake Browning has tons of weapons. You got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got Chase Brown, who can't run the ball at all. And last week, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins couldn't even get involved. Now you're going to have Patrick Surtain out there on one of them. So I do not like Jake Browning as a start in this game. I think it's his last start as a Bengal here. I think the Broncos win this game. The over-under 44.5. Denver favored by 7.5. I think, oh man, please. This is me right now talking to the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go get Jameis Winston and let it fly. Now, on the Bo Nix side, you have to start every quarterback versus Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, this is what we knew before the season started coming in. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is absolutely terrible. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They can't do anything. They rank 19th versus the quarterback, giving up 16 points a game, 783 pass yards, 5 passing TDs, tied for third worst there. Cortland Sutton's going to have a big game here. We hope we get Evan Ingram back there. It is going to be Monday, so make sure you're paying attention to your tight end position if you're starting Evan Ingram, because we don't know if he's going to be playing Monday or not. I'd like to see Marvin Mims get involved. Troy Franklin popped the week before. Everyone got excited. Then Troy Franklin was nothing. I'm not excited about any of that. But Bo Nix has got to get it going here. Got to use the legs. He's got to be a 20-point play in this game. The Bengals defense is terrible. And the Broncos need a get-right game to get their season back on track. Boom. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That is my start, sit, quarterbacks to help you guys dominate your matchups in week 4, guys. As always, on your way out, if you haven't already, make sure you tap that like button, hit that subscription button. Helps me out a ton. And if you guys haven't checked out the Discord, it will be pinned in the comments. It will also be in the description of the video as well. You guys can look at the guys FF on there. And then, as always, make sure you sign up on drafters.com using promo code SLEEZ, SLEEZ, to match your deposit up to $100. Shout out to the sponsor, Drafters. That's it for this episode, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one, which will be my running back, start 'em, sit 'em, every single matchup. We're going to break down every single thing, just like we did the quarterbacks on the running back side. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode, man. Sleaze Bomb out.